That's what Thomas Anthony needed after not the weekend he would have wanted for the opening round of the IKC. Getting a pretty dominant win in one of the closest divisions we have here today. 3.5 seconds too is quite the statement as well, as it's an AMAX 1-2 here for 206 Junior. We'll be moving on to the senior divisions here for 206 Light. A couple of these drivers we saw in the morning sessions, Justin Braden Heber being one of them, who didn't quite have the qualifying he would have wanted, but a couple of new faces up there who will be battling for the win should make it exciting for 206 Light.
This going to be your final heat grouping of this afternoon before we go straight into the finals already. And right now we are nearly on the point of where we were minute-wise on a normal schedule, just like that, based on the rotation it looks like here for these competitors. So, how are they grouped up here in Senior Light? Well, it's Jordan Lynch on the pole. It's Andrew Goldman second. Tower Sims in third. Braden Heber in fourth position. Colton Kelly in fifth. Zachary Allen in sixth. Levi Wilbur did not set a time in qualifying, is set for seventh spot if we do see that kart in the field. So it looks like we're ready to go racing. Looks like 6 karts all set. Green, green, green. 206 Light is now on track, and we're underway for our 5th heat of the afternoon. Oh, and we're crashing. Heart of the field, that's Tower Sims amongst those around. And our kart is stuck in the grass. That appears to be Colton Kelly.
Yeah, that's Kelly out of the race early. Probably one of the messier starts we've seen so far today. Both of them coming in the form of 206 senior competition. Kelly is going to try and get going. It might be a little difficult to get that brakes to fire, as I think Kelly's getting out from that kart, and that'll be pre-final done for them, but back up at the front of the field. Braden Heber's made a little bit of time. He's now back up to second, making up some positions, but Logan Lynch continuing to lead the way in some very tricky conditions on what I believe is a Ricardo kart of what Lynch is running. That being said, Heber right there on the back end of Lynch. Potential move for the lead coming here, Justin.
Yeah, right now Heber putting on the pressure. Goes a little bit higher to be able to stay out of the raindrops put up by the 12 kart. Now try to see if he can serve up a move on a platter. And right now you can see just how wide these droppers have to take it in the corners, especially in the rhino line sections, to be able to try and stay out of the major puddles that are built up on the racetrack right now. Right now, Hebert working his way back inside, not even a poke alongside yet. And this is going to be the tough thing. The inside line is going to be very difficult to run in, as we've already seen. The 8 kart does not want to run inside. He prefers the far way around to be able to stay out of the heavy rain.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be an interesting dynamic we see here, because Braden Heber in that second spot, it just seems like the window is closing for his opportunities, because that offline is going to get even more and more just undrivable throughout the day. That also being said, I don't know if we have enough karts on track to be really drying that racing line, but obviously it won't have a ton of debris on it because drivers have been clearing that off, especially with these rain tires. So could be interesting as they get through a low point of the track there on the exit of turn 5. A bit of a river is starting to form at that section of the track. So if we see some side-by-side action there, some passing, that could throw a wrench in the works. High, wide, and handsome around turn 7 for both of those drivers, trying to find the karting's version of the cushion, I guess you can call it there, but going very wide, trying to find any ounce of grip they can. It seems like Braden Heber has found it, because he is right back on the back bumper of Lynch.
Staying close up right now, Hebert. Now trying to run almost like the boards, as you mentioned, with the cushion. But it's going to be tough since there's no wall to run up against in terms of that cushion, you'd have to think. But under 90 seconds to go in this one, Hebert has a chance here. You can find a way to draft up in amongst the rain here to the back end of Lynch. No doing yet for him, and no doing to be able to get back alongside the cart yet. Still trying to search his way around for a crossover line that isn't coming yet. Under a minute to go.
We'll say Tyler Sims is flying right now in fourth. He's half a second faster than anyone last time by. Went purple at a 49.0. Unable to reset that time and goes half a second slower. So that was kind of a one-lap wonder for the 19 cart, as these two out in front still nose to tail. Can't really separate them. Goldman unable to close in. That being said, though, gained about 10th and 3/4 last time across the stripe. So he is gaining, but with 22 seconds plus 2 laps to go, it could be close if he even gets to the back bumper of the 8 cart.
Oh, and what's this? Slowing down is Lynch. He slows down a ton all of a sudden, and now he's got a problem. Lynch from the lead having to move to the side of the racetrack and now parks it. This coming around with about 3 laps to go. Hebert to the lead as Lynch kicks his cart in frustration.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see there once he starts to get that cart off, what part of the chassis he goes to just look at it. It seems like it just died on him. And obviously with these heavy rain conditions and how wet it is, the amount of standing water, no amount of air filter cover can keep the water out at this rate, Justin. So could be some work to do for those guys to get the water out of that Briggs 206.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough break after controlling the race lead, but now it's Hebert who is in front. White flag is out rather than 3 to go from the previous time. Final time around for this field as Goldman is now in the popcorn seat. He's closed up a fair bit to this battle. Not able to close up too much, though. He drifted his way through the corner as they worked their way through the puddles. Only half a lap to go for Hebert to close up in this one to the checker flag, or for Goldman to take advantage of any mistakes from that 8 cart. No mistakes coming into the second to last corner. No mistakes heading into the final corner. The checker flag is now in sight. Braden Hebert comes out of the final corner, will come away and take the win in 2:06 light.
Andrew Goldman is going to be a driver to look out for next race, Andrew, because, Justin. Andrew is going to be a driver to look out for next race. He was coming on strong in the final couple of laps there. He was gaining and gaining and gaining on the leaders a couple times, getting about 3 to 4 tenths per lap. There you see unofficial results for 206 Senior Light. Braden Haber taking the win on board that number 8 machine. Then Andrew Goldman, Tyler Sims, Zachary Allen, and Logan Lynch, your top 5. Of course, Lynch with that DNF. We expect him to be in the fight for the win like he was in this pre-final later on when we get to the finals for 206 light, and that is a sad sight to see no matter what day it is. And then you add on the fact that it is pouring rain for that number 12 cart.
So there's going to be a bit of cart cleanup, obviously, after this one. 2 different carts are stopped on their side of the racetrack right now. And so this is going to take a little bit of time, you'd have to think, to get those machines off of the racing surfaces and be able to get them to the garage area to their respective teams. Down if we do see Lynch on the racetrack here. Command to go. Just waiting for a couple more things before they get going. It looks like on the racetrack. See some of those drivers right now in the garage area waiting for the command to go out those gates to be able to get us racing. Braden Haber will be on the pole. Andrew Goldman in second. Tyler Sims in third. Zachary Allen in fourth. Logan Lynch in the fifth position. Colton Kelly in sixth. Levi Wilbur seventh if they start. Kelly and Wilbur are listed as DNSs from the previous race. And there they go. Onto the track they go. And remember, Lynch is going to be someone to keep an eye on after setting the pole time, then having that cart break down. If we do see Lynch on the racetrack here, he's going to be having a race with a vengeance.
Yeah, absolutely, he will. It's going to be a rough battle through the field if they get their way on track. Of course, with these wet conditions, making it a lot harder to pass around K1 Circuit Whiteland, but we'll just have to wait and see as they get set and ready to go on the tram lines.
Just need a compressed air for the tram lines as they get the pump the brake warning. And now they've pumped together and are ready to pump the throttle. It's our final of the day. It's 206 Junior. And they are off and away for the final race of the day. Hebert leads things off up front as they battle it out for second. All of them trying to stay single file as they get ready for sector 2. And one cart has crashed into the barrier. They keep going, though. A second cart has spun. So already, drivers behind Goldman having some issues, believe that might have featured a couple drivers like Sims and Allen possibly having some problems at the back. We'll have to make sure once they come to the stripe.
Yeah, we'll see once they cross the time and scoring beacon to get official idea on who those were. That being said, though, Brain here out in front, leading the way, as he so often does here at the IKC by a few tenths over Andrew Goldman, then Tyler Sims running in that third spot, and then Tyler Sims running in second, then Andrew Goldman in third, and that was Zachary Allen and Logan Lynch getting collected there in turn 5. As it seems like Andrew Goldman might have had some sort of mistake through the cut through. He fell back hard into the clutches of Allen and Lynch that time by.
Yeah, Lynch definitely getting held up with the spinner. Allen was the one who went around in that sequence. So Tyler Sims trying to pressurize the 8 up front with some big-time deficits behind him on the racetrack as a result of those slip and slides in the opening 3 or 4 corners. See the difference right now, about 2 to 3 seconds between second and third already. Sims, 50.7, 7 tenths quicker for Heber last time by.
Yeah, it's an impressive gap, especially this early on in the race. If you're Sims, you don't really want to see that, of course, as now you're just seeing that time slip away, especially at such an early stage of the race. It puts you back as a driver, and you almost have to do just a mental reset to get yourself back in a position to where you can get your head down and try and fight your way forward. But it's definitely going to be a bit of a mountain to climb for him, losing that 7 tenths last time by to Heber, who did set fast time.
Yeah, right now Lynch has already closed up to Goldman just about on raw pace. Last time by, he was nearly as quick as the race leader in terms of lap 50.2. This time by, lost a few tenths to the race leader and to Goldman in general, though. Still 7 minutes or so to be able to try and do something here, to be able to get on the podium. That's the main thing as you look at your front runners. Sims is gradually losing touch to that 8 cart.
Yeah, Sims losing a little under a 10.5 last time by, and just got to be careful not to allow that to continue, because like we've seen, especially in the morning group, Braden Heber isn't invincible, having that engine issue in the pre-final of 206 medium. Again, with this long race and a lot of standing water, a lot of rain continuing to fall down, engine issues could hit anyone in this field like it did last race with Logan Lynch, who seemed like he could be in with a shout for the win in that one, and then pulled off early on the exit of turn 9. That time by Heber putting half a second on Tyler Sims down in second. So the Heber Masterclass continuing here in the final for our 206 Senior Lights.
Yeah, master classes all throughout the afternoon at this point. That's the main storyline in the rainy conditions at this point here in this one. Just have to finish out strong over the next 6 minutes to be able to finish up the day. Goldman right now holding on over Lynch. Lynch has not been able to chew away at the time either for that third step of the podium, has lost ground. In fact, he's now near 3 seconds back with how things have started to stretch out in this one. And you have to say, throughout the day today, we've seen the intense battling. We've seen the ever-growing gaps as it's not been a pack race type of a day today. Now, these drivers are ready to finish out strong at this point with how things are looking with 5 minutes to go on the day here in a rainy one, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gets worse for Tyler Sims. Yes, he did lose half a second to the driver in front of Braden Hebert, but Andrew Goldman took a 10th out of him last time by. So the gap is increasing in front of him and closing behind him. It's never a situation you want to be put in. Loses 3/10 last time by, and check this out. He lost a second to Andrew Goldman behind, who goes purple at a 49.3. Andrew Goldman on the number 2 machine is absolutely flying at this rate with a little over 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. So the battle for the final couple of podium spots are not over yet, as it seems like Goldman is really closing in on Tyler Sims, and we could see this battle really start to heat up. He is 2.3 seconds back from Tyler Sims, though, but at this rate, Justin, he's going to be there in a couple of laps' time.
Yeah, right now, just a little bit of time if he's going to be able to get there. That's going to be the tough thing right now for some of these drivers. The personal best still set by Goldman. 4 minutes to go in this one. We'll say, on the bright side, rain seems to be letting up a little bit to end off the day. So we'll see if that helps out with the grip levels just a touch bit. It's still going to be soaking wet in general with those hydroplane sections and puddle buildups. Sims on screen, still maintaining at the moment where he needs to be if he wants to be on the second step on the podium in this one here. Tyler Sims looking very solid in his kart.
Yeah, Sims losing a little bit of time to Goldman last time around. Heber not having a good lap last time across the stripe. He lost 3/10 to Tyler Sims, and Andrew Goldman resetting fast time. He's into the 48, so 48.972 for Andrew Goldman. Fastest kart on track is Tyler Sims also did put in his personal best last time, but 4/10 slower than what Andrew Goldman is doing. That gap between second and third now down to 1.9 seconds, as that gap was almost about 3.5 just a couple laps ago. We're definitely going to get that battle for second, as if Andrew Goldman continues at that pace. We'll just get another update of where that is as they come across the line to complete another lap. Heber there, then Sims, then Goldman across the line. Sims, again, losing time to Heber and to Goldman as Goldman continues to close in that gap. It's now 1.7 seconds between second and third now, Justin.
1.7, but it's going to have to go down even quicker if he wants a shot. Only 2/10 picked up last time by for Goldman on Sims. 2 minutes to work with before we get to the lap total to be able to finish up the day. And right now, Goldman is in a good groove in that backdrop. You see him right there, just closing on down, chopping bit by bit It's going to require even more time pickup this time. This time by, for reference, the leader's running a 50 flat. That's going to be down to 2.2 seconds for the lead. Goldman went down to 1.1 back of Sims that time by.
This could get interesting still. We saw in some earlier races today the leader throw away a race win in the final couple of laps of the race. Heber is losing time. He lost almost half a second that time. Of course, he does have that 2.2 second advantage. He might be managing the race just a little bit, not pushing very hard. Also being said, Andrew Goldman has brought that gap down to 1 second now, 1.1, 0.6 faster than Tyler Sims last time across the stripe. But like you mentioned, Justin, the time is starting to tick down for these drivers, and the opportunities are starting to get slimmer and slimmer. About 3 or so laps to go, depending on when they come across the stripe next time. Looking at gaps, Tyler Sims, for the first time, actually builds a little bit of a gap on Andrew Goldman. He found a little under 0.2 of a second to the pursuing number 2 Kart. Sims, though, again, losing time to Braden Heber, as it seems like Heber did a little check over the shoulder, saw they were getting a bit too close, and has turned on the afterburners once again.
Going to be close on time to see if we get 3 laps or 2 laps to go. On the board, it looks like only 10 seconds on the clock this time by for Heber through the corner. Looks like he's going to get the 3 to go signal based on where they are on the racetrack. Double sticks, in fact, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go on the day. Heber ready to close down this day. Goldman only within a second of Sims at the moment. As we see some of the carts get really separated out, that's Allen. That is laps down, about to be a lap down with how things are looking here. There's your race leader in the backdrop, just having a fun old time out front.
Yeah, Braden Heber probably just having, like you said, a fun time of it at this point, just enjoying the challenge that is rain racing, is that number 8 Kart. Time starting to wind down, both for his dominance in this race and for the chances for Andrew Goldman to catch up to Tyler Sims. White flag in the air this time by, as it is now half a second between Goldman and Sims. Goldman going purple, Justin, and we are probably going to see a battle for second on our hands if that pace continues, but it's going to be a late lunge from Goldman to try and get up into that second spot, as you see them right there on the back straight.
Down to the final time around for Braden Heber. Heber outright dominant pace today. Now closing up. Sims already closed up by Goldman as they reach traffic. Owen Goldman might be able to close up with that checkup with Allen. Not going to be enough. Braden Heber comes out of the final corner. Coming to the checker flag. Braden Heber comes away with the win. It's a double win day for the 8 Kart. Tyler Sims and Andrew Goldman, the top 3.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers doing that double here today. Braden Heber being one of them, dominant throughout the classes that he ran between the medium and the light categories. How about it for him? 2 seconds at the end. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it doesn't tell the whole story of the race, of him just managing that gap and just having those incredible opening laps that brought him to the lead. Sims second, then Goldman, Lynch, Allen, your top 5 in your 206 senior light final, of course, being unofficial results. And Justin, that concludes the second round of the IKC here at K1 Circuit Whiteland.
What are your thoughts on the day?
Yeah, it was cool to see these drivers get a little bit out of their element. I don't know how much of them have been in, like we've been saying, monsoon-like conditions. It's a very challenging track that they had to endure today. A lot of them rose to the occasion in spectacular form. Hope to see them more throughout the IKC season. I would love to see a few of these guys who dominate come out for the Route 66 event in just a couple of weeks' time and go against the Midwest's best for that race, April 25th through 27th. You can also catch that live on Kart Chaser along with the rest of the Route 66 Sprint Series events for 2025. But I digress. An amazing day of racing, Justin. Glad I could call it with you, and cannot wait for round 3.
On that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for today's coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge from K1 Circuit, Whiteland. For Nate Dean, for the rest of our crew, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your day. You've been watching IKC from Whiteland, Indiana.